All right, welcome back, collectors. Welcome to another live stream on my channel. Tonight we actually have RJ's going to be with us in like in a half an hour or so, but we actually have a guest tonight that's very familiar to the community. I'm going to bring him on right now. We got Jason Livestream at
Hey,
this point now. I'm going to tease him
hey
about that one a
everybody.
little bit. I
That's
think that's
right.
a title somebody else has, so we'll resend that comment at this point. But here's Jason, the everyday card collector. So welcome. Good evening.
Hey, how's it going, Mitchell? Thanks for having me on, my friend.
Hey, no problem. This is probably the first guest I've had that actually lives very close to me, and we're still joining virtually.
Yes,
And
it's kind of
we
crazy.
probably could just
Anytime,
drive 10 minutes each way and actually meet up in person, but it's not happening at the moment.
right?
But
Anytime I do a card show video or talk about a show I was at, it's usually you and Steve, Vintage on Vintage, are the guys. So
hey, we got Dylan in the room tonight too. So
going on, Dylan?
Dylan, we're going to be talking about vintage tonight. Sorry, I put away the refractors for now. I'll actually have some in my drawers right now if I wanted to grab those out of the drawer of my desk, not
You
my
know what? We could go
drawers.
that route sometime, Mitchell.
But
I think the core community that watches you and I, and probably Dylan, are mostly vintage people. But Dylan would be one of the few viewers who's watching the modern stuff that both you and I have. So
yep, yep. All right, well, Jason probably needs no introduction. He's had a channel, what, about a year now? A little more than a year?
I'll be a year at the end of December.
At the end of December. Okay, and
Yeah.
you've like really like extended well into the community. In fact, you were live just last night with the hobby president, no less, as well as some other well-known YouTubers.
That is correct.
But Jason, feel free for anybody that might not be familiar with you that's watching this now. Give yourself a little introduction, tell us a little bit about your channel, and I'll ask you some follow-up questions as you kind of get
Sure,
to it. So,
sure. So my channel, I am Jason, the Everyday Card Collector. I started this channel about 11 months ago, going on a year. I dove into the community pretty hard, and basically what had happened is I'm one of those guys who has been in and out of the hobby, most like most people my age, and I came back in during the COVID, boom, if you will, and just kind of dove in based on YouTube. I started watching YouTube channels. I had collected a little bit of vintage throughout my 20s and 30s, and then found YouTube and found the vintage algorithm, if you will. And of course, that's Mike Moynihan, baseball collector. And then
yep.
I found
Mhm.
John Mangini, the Mangini collection, and everybody from that point on. I found you fairly early because obviously I'm a White Sox fan and a Cardinals fan. We have a lot in common as far as what we collect. And I found you fairly early and actually ran into you at a local show. And I've
Yeah,
probably
I've told
told
the
the
story
story.
before, but I'm gonna let Jason tell his perspective on it. So
Yeah, what's that?
I'm gonna let you tell your version of the story because I've
Well,
mentioned it
yeah,
before.
and I always get a kick out of it because I tell everybody. I've told the story on my channel. You were the first YouTuber I ever met. I was at a local show, a smaller show we do here every month. It's in a suburb called Schaumburg, and actually Mitchell, myself, and Steve Vintage on Vintage have been to it together several times. But there were 2 or 3 vintage booths at this particular show, and I was at one of them, and I heard Mitchell talking to the dealer, and I recognized his voice.
Tommy. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
Tommy. Yeah.
yeah, I'd never seen Mitchell, but I said, hey, are you the or I said, I'm sorry, hey, are you the White Sox fan and card collector? And he said, yeah. And I said, oh, I follow you. And we struck up a brief conversation, but then shortly after that, I kind of jumped into YouTube. I don't know, like I said, it was December of last year, and you were one of the first guys I've kind of reached out to beyond just doing my channel and talking to people on a personal basis. You were one of the first that I connected with and
You
have
brought me a
since.
gift too at the National 2 years
That's
ago. That
right. I
was really
did. That's
sweet.
right.
Yeah, I was
So
taken
yeah,
aback by like the things people gave me. I'm like, whoa,
yeah, that
like
was
that's sweet.
that was two nationals ago in Chicago. So
Yep.
I didn't have a channel yet, and that was kind of the trigger for me to start a channel. I went to the YouTube get together. I met a bunch of people. I brought a bunch of gifts, and I just said to myself, I want to be part of this community. And I really am genuine and sincere when I say, I love doing a channel. It's always gratifying when people subscribe and comment, but that means very little to me. I love tying in the community and hanging out with friends, and that's what I love. And you hear that a lot, but it's truly the most important thing to me as far as this goes. If it's not fun, I'm just not going to do it anymore. I'm looking up here. I went to lunch with Dylan at the National this last year in Cleveland. We got Joe Wood collector Doug. I was talking to him in a text about, I don't know, a couple days ago. And then we've got Joe OCMC, who's a friend of mine, a very cool guy. And much like I came up to you, Mitchell, he came up to me in Strongsville and said, "Hey, I follow you," and then we struck up a conversation. So
all connected.
yeah,
I got to say that, like the first time I met you, I didn't know what to say because like I wasn't expecting like somebody to recognize me like right away. Also, I
right,
don't think I really put my like face on the channel at that point too, so it was only my voice. So
correct,
you recognize me just by my voice alone.
right. Yes, that is correct. And I still buy off of Tom, and I think you still buy off of Tom when he's there. And if I see something that he has, he's one of the vendors I hit at Schaumburg every time he's there. So
I met Dylan in a different venue, not at lunch. We met at the National, but we were at the sink in the washroom. I'm like, you're Dylan, right?
oh, nice.
We'd already communicated like over, I think, email and then text because I was going out to Hawaii that year and we didn't connect at that point. So, but like we had already like kind of talked by text, but I don't think he recognized who I was. And but I knew who he was via videos.
Sure.
And that's how I met him right there that day, right there.
Oh, Dylan is world renowned in the vintage community, and I think I don't know even know if I told him this when we were at lunch. I have family that live in Hawaii, so when I connect with him next, I'll have to talk.
Hey, another thing we have in common, yeah. I have family out there too.
Right. So
most sweet. I actually still remember what you gave me too. I still have
was it the 56th Lawler?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember what I gave everybody. I met Mike Junkwax Hero. I think I gave him
You have an invite to go visit Dylan. So.
Oh yeah, heck yeah, I will. I will.
I'll be out there in 2 Mays, Dylan.
Okay.
So hopefully you're around. I do want to see you.
So I know I think Dylan might find this shocking. He's going to giggle at this. I'm Filipino, and there's a pretty decent sized Filipino community in Hawaii. So. My mother is Filipino, so my Filipino side lives in Hawaii. So,
sweet.
Yeah,
sweet. All right. Well, I guess RJ will join us at some point. We have a little bit of a scheduling conflict with what he had to do, so he'll jump in at some point. I'll bring him in. But we did have like a fun topic tonight. It's been done on other channels, but I hadn't had a chance to do this before. Jason, have you ever done what we're about to do?
I don't know that I have. I've done a video. I did a video recently covering,
Pastor Craig.
So, there he is. Craig was my running partner at the National this year. So,
yeah, you went through like sets from what 50 to 69, right?
I did
up to 70
from 52 to 70, and just kind of went through each set, showed a card of each from the set, and kind of just talked about the sets in general. So.
Sweet. Well, actually, we're doing a take on that, and people have done this before. We're not ranking all these sets, but we're going to take it decade by decade, and we're going to like answer 3 questions. I just put up 4 fingers. We're going to put 3 questions in there. It's like, what is your favorite set from that decade? What set do you like the least? Which I know sometimes it's like trying to pick a child, especially with the 50s. For me, that was a tough decade to make it a selection. And then which one do you think is the most underappreciated that you would recommend to the community? So before we kind of jump into that, like how was that for you, Jason, kind of narrowing it down? For me, I thought it was going to be an easy thing, but I had to really think about it.
The only thing, it's pretty simple I do that show with Aaron Mount Rushmore, and we always do top 4 of whatever. And the minute we pick a topic, in my head, I'm like, all right, I know it. It's these 4. And I did it with this when you called this out. And I said, I know it already. And I switched it about 45 minutes ago. I said, oh, no, what about this? So I rearranged it. So I thought it was simple and then changed my mind about 45 minutes till we had the show. So
apparently Mangini is a little distracted, is watching something else at this point.
Keep us posted.
Is it over?
In the chat,
like, did it just
Prez.
end?
Keep us posted in the chat, Prez.
Okay. Yeah, keep us up to speed on what's going on, I guess, there at that point. So at some point we'll probably talk about, we have a new manager too, but like nobody wants to hear about the White Sox.
I know. It's tough. It is a struggle to talk about that team.
So I'll give you a choice. For me, it was kind of hard too. I did feel like, at least with the 50s in particular, it was like trying to uh, pick from one of your favorite children. Even though I don't have kids, but
Yes.
it's like, especially for like what's your favorite and what one is your least favorite. Just because I really like all the tops and Bowman sets, and we're focusing on those. We're not like including like red men's and red hearts and stuff like
Oh,
that.
we're
Or
not,
maybe
because
you maybe you are actually, like, if that's
I
okay,
went
because
off
I
the
didn't
rail
actually
a
set
little. I
that.
went off the rail a little bit with that. I didn't go
Oh, you did?
major
Okay, well, that's
subset,
fine. So okay,
but
I
I've got
guess.
major subset here if we're gonna, or major sets if we're gonna split
Sweet,
it.
sweet, sweet. Yeah, because like I didn't think to set that rule, because I would say like Topps greatest moments from 1971 is like that's underappreciated. I think that people need to collect, but
Right.
I was sticking with the base sets in the way that I approached it. But
Okay.
it got easier as the decades went along, because I do have some strong opinions when I get to the 60s and 70s and what I did and didn't like. So that didn't deviate much for me as
Okay.
far as like what I wanted to pick. But picking like my favorite from the 60s took a little while to do it, because there's a few sets there that I really, really, really appreciate. As we go through this, guys, feel free to just add in there what your comments are on there, what some of your preferences are. Is there anything else beside Tops and Bowman? Well, and yeah,
There,
Redman, Red Heart, yeah, but
I can
we'll
go
look
on
at
and
those
on
at a
and on.
different day. So
Yeah. Yeah.
those are just some of them, right from
You
the
might
era.
see
But
one from me tonight. A set, Dylan, that's not Tops or Bowman. So.
I just picked up those two recently too. The ones I got from the Milwaukee Braves too. I thought those looked really nice too. So
Johnston cookies.
yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and those were the
Great set.
52s, not the or 53s. I'm sorry, 53s, but
Yeah.
they were pretty
Great
solid
set.
looking cards, I have to
Oh
admit. But
yeah, no, I saw your video on that, and I jokingly say it all the time. It's I don't consider it influencing. I'm learning, right? You're always learning, and all I have to do is watch a Mangini video or watch an Aaron Value Vintage card or a Rick Oddball cards, and I'm in a whole nother world that I never, I watched Mangini, learned about the Gaudy
Mhm.
wide pens, and had to go pick up two Gaudy wide pens.
Yeah,
I
yeah, I have a few
I
of
did
those in
it.
my collection too. Yeah.
Yeah, I did a video with Aaron, and now I'm on the hunt for a particular card, and the auction ends Sunday night, so I'm not going to tell anybody what it is, but I'm hoping to grab this thing. That'll be the first one in
Here's
my collection.
John's flex for everybody, guys. Half of his collection is before 1948 with the Topps Magic set. Sweet.
That's awesome. So should we kick
Totally
it
agree.
off?
Especially the Aaron and Aaron cards are really
Oh
cool
God,
for
yeah,
54 and
yeah.
55. Yeah, so I agree
Well,
with
you
that.
can even watch someone like Matt, the card store. He's got those awesome die cut spick and spans, and that spawn is awesome with that leg kick. It's just an awesome piece.
Hmm.
And it's slightly oversized, which I think I'm gravitating to more and more. The value's there for oversized. I did a video on that not too long ago, and I really think that
Just as long as
there's
the
a
holder's not too big, right?
yeah, right. We were doing that last night. I was that
Hmm.
what they did to Orlando
I was
Pirates.
giggling of some of
Yeah,
them.
that thing was obnoxious, and I understand his disappointment in that. That was insane. So
SGC does huge ones with the top supers too in the
yes,
70s. They look
yes, they do.
ridiculous.
Yep,
Those big holders.
yep.
All right. I'll let you go first. As far as what decade you want to start with, and you could start with your favorite or your least favorite. I think we'll leave the underappreciated for the third question.
Yeah,
Sound
that's
good?
usually what. Yeah, I figure. So I think I'll make this. This is a layup for me. So I'll start with the '50s and my favorite set from the '50s. And the first card I'm going to show is kind of an homage to another gentleman that you and I both know very well. 1956 Tops is my favorite set in the '50s, and possibly one of my favorite
I can
sets of
put you
all
in the
time.
center screen here.
Yeah. So I got to show my Don Mossy from my good friend Scott. I absolutely love this set. For those who do follow me, I'll rattle them off. I'm working on the Hall of Fame run, so I have quite a few of them. I still need a lot of the big ones. There's my Larry Doby,
Great. Yeah.
got my Nelly, and I think this set to me is like the epitome of of golden era vintage. The action shot in the background, the main shot or the head shot of the athlete. 55 and 56, I just think are beautiful, beautiful sets. But I gravitate a little bit towards 56 myself. So and this was the first. When I remember as a kid, I would tell everybody as a kid when I would think of old cards, this would be the set I would think of if I saw an old card. Oh, that's old. That's old. And I look back at it now, and think to myself, well, that wasn't that long ago when I was calling this old in 1984. This was 56, so we're talking less than 30 years from when I was calling it old. So it would be the equivalent now of calling 1995 cards really, really old.
I have quite a few of them already.
Yeah. I think I've got. I think I'm up to 20 of them, and I used to know the number off the top of my head, but like I said, my focus has changed a little bit, so I've gone towards a lot of pre-war stuff. So, and I do know. I see Joe's comment a lot. I love the 54 set as well. I think it's phenomenal. Maybe in the future that'll be a Hall of Fame run that I want to do as well. But
Someone wants to know what your favorite card is from that set, by the way.
So all right, I'll show. It's a tie, Dylan, for two of them. I have them. I do not have a lot of the big ones. I don't have the Clemente, and that's up there. The Clemente's up there.
Oh yeah, the Clemente's cool.
Yeah, I love the Ted. I absolutely love the Ted Williams. I think that's a beautiful card. And then I think for most people who know this has been on my channel more than any other card that I own.
Yeah.
I love the 56.
Kind of similar, like the outfield, like reaching for a ball for both those guys.
Yeah. And if you know anything about the story, this was actually a foul ball and he didn't even catch the ball. And, there's a whole story behind the actual background photo of it. So, but yeah, I had a few more.
That's
but
sweet.
Yeah. But by far my favorite set from the 50s, again, it's like picking a child. There are, in my opinion, from Bowman and Topps, if we're talking, no bad sets. So,
sorry, just took you off the stage for a moment there. But
no, you're fine. You're fine.
I meant to close the window and I took you out completely. Like, whoop, what did I do? I guess it's my turn to kind of like say what my favorite is. So a little bit of the same theme, and I had a hard time like selecting which one from the 50s in particular. I had I've already like working on the 53 Bowman, so I love those pictures on there, and we've definitely sung that set's praises over time, especially on YouTube. Really appreciate and enjoy the 52 and 51 Bowman sets in particular as well. 53 Topps is beautiful. 56 Topps is wonderful. But the one I settled on for my favorite one was actually 1952. And I'll kind of explain why. So I got a few examples of 52 Topps here too. For me, when I look at a card that's in mid-grade or higher for 52, it kind of takes me to a point where I can actually envision like opening a pack of these cards and just kind of being wowed at the size and the color of these cards and the detail on the back, especially if I was a card collector at this time in comparison to the Bowman set. And I love the 52 Bowman set as well, but this one really just kind of took me to a different place as I kind of went through the set. It's one that's impossible, I think, to be able to complete, though. That's kind of like one of its like shortcomings, but also like one of the things that's so appealing, I think, for high-end set collectors is to be able to chase this white whale and complete the set. So I just pulled out a few that I have, and one of the other reasons I really like this set, it's got one of the features I like about modern sets is you have a combination of both cards that are vertical, but cards that are also landscaped too. And I like that in sets where I kind of see the sort of the variation of both. There's only a few Hall of Famers that actually have like landscape cards. I think it might just be Shane Deese and Johnny Mize, if I'm not mistaken, but someone else might know for sure.
I think
so.
You're
I have
correct.
like both of those, but I just think these things are just works of art when I kind of look at these, and I think definitely they were a good starting place for Topps making these oversized cards, at least at that time they were. Because 53, I think, just took it to another level. But I kind of go back to the origins of these cards and kind of like really love just kind of the way they kind of took the step in that direction with 1952 in particular.
Sure.
But again, the set I'll never have like all Hall of Famers or even the complete set. But I would like to get some more. As I kind of continue to collect. And I do pick them up as like I see them at local card shows. Like this one's one that I picked up with you. We were at the card show in just over the summer. It was part of a larger purchase I made from the same dealer. And I just like even the comments that are kind of like in really solid mid-grade on these things. And I've submitted a few for grading myself too. I just think they're great and you can never go wrong. Because even these things, like even the commons really do hold a nice value too, as opposed to some of the other sets from the 50s. If you're to grade the commons, unless they're super high grade, they're not really worth that much.
Right.
So that's something else to kind of take in consideration too. Not that I'm looking to sell these, but
Now, and you've got two of my favorites, the Billy Pierce and the Sherm Lawler are awesome cards. I love
I
the
just
Sherm.
took those out as examples, not even thinking that you probably be like, "Hey, I love this." So
Well, you know I'm gonna, you know,
yeah, the
uh,
Lawler's pretty cool. It's a catcher card, and then we talk about that too.
right,
It's a good
right.
catcher mitt in that one too. So I actually got those in the same purchase. Somebody had them for auction. Actually, got picked up 3 White Sox cards in that purchase. So those
Oh,
are the
that's
two
cool.
big ones in there
Oh, that's great. That's
for sure.
fantastic.
Do you want me to lead off with one that I don't like as much?
Yeah, are you going not like or
I will go
underappreciated?
to the one that I do not like
Okay,
from the 50s, and I actually do kind of like it, but it's not one that I gravitate towards for a variety of different reasons. It's 55 Bowman, actually. So I got a few cards from that set. One that problem I have with the set is it they bend very easily. So you find so many of these cards because the card stock is a little bit thinner than some of like the early tops cards. So they just kind of bend right in the middle. So you see a lot of creases right down the middle of them. And
right,
that takes away from a little bit of the luster, including this Rizzuto actually has a big crease in it. If you're holding under the right light, you can actually pick up on it. Under not on the right light, don't really see it all that much. I also think that the color photo images on here are not really all that clear. And as opposed to some of the sets they did previously, where the color photo is a little bit better, especially like 53 in particular. Some of like the kind of the similar kind of theme of like players in certain poses and things like that kind of are duplicated a bit in the set. Like Fox and Rizzuto look almost exactly the same in the way they're kind of
right,
designed. So there's not a lot of variation. Like either you're kind of fielding or bunting or taking a swing in the way the cards are kind of like staged. So they kind of go through the set. And this Nelly Fox, he looks like a little baby, the way like it kind of put all this like sort of coloring on his cheeks and stuff like this. And he was already what, like an adult, well into his
right,
adulthood. I think he was
right,
already like
right.
maybe close to 30 years old by the time he played here. Um, and the corners, I think, are the other reason. They just don't show the wear well.
Yep,
So I like cards from this era that do show the wear that pretty well, where you actually don't see it and you can kind of like enjoy it when it is two condition and you're not like, oh man, the corners are so bad they actually detract from it. So like this Feller, there's a bad corner on here, and that's the first thing I see when I look at this card.
really. See, like,
Yeah, it's the first thing I see that bothers me a little bit about the card. Even though I picked it up with my nephews at a card shop, so it's like endearing to me in that way.
right,
But like that's like the first thing that kind of stands
right.
out to me with the set.
And it's
So
so I mean,
55 Bowman, even though it's got the air and it's got the
right.
banks and stuff like that, it's got mantle in there, which are fantastic. So I'm not going to knock it, saying it's like the worst set ever. I mean, it's hard to top 91 Fleer for that title. But I had to pick one from the 50s, and that was it for me. So what do you
Yeah,
think on that one, Jason?
I guess I'll show mine in conjunction to what you were talking about. I don't dislike any set in the 50s, but if I had to say that my least favorite, it would probably be the 55 Bowmans. So don't get me
55 Bowman
wrong.
fans are going to hate us tonight.
Love the set. This is my Pee Wee Reese. I don't have a ton of them. I have a couple ungraded, Chico Carasquel and a couple others. And it's funny. I'm watching the chat as it rattles off. This is my Campanella, and Joe agrees that his least favorite is the 55 Bowman set. I actually bought this off of Joe at Strongsville. So my buddy Joe sold this to me at Strongsville. So I don't get me wrong. I love the cards. I would say this. I would say that the novelty of the TV was a great idea for its time. I think it actually detracts away from the photo itself of the player. And it can kind of overwhelm it to the point where you don't even know who it is. The nameplates are
Yeah.
fairly small. And then, of course, condition. If you're looking at the 55 Bowman, you can say similar things to the 62 tops, similar things to the 68 tops. Getting those 71 tops with the black beauties, just tough to keep them in good shape. So don't get me wrong. I love them, and I'll be buying more, but I'm with you on that. That's my least favorite. And these are the only two that I have graded. So.
I'll contradict myself because I do like the 71 top set. It's not on any one of my categories tonight, so I'll just kind of mention it.
Oh, I
But for
like
me,
it
you can
too.
still find a lot of the cards in very good condition just for set building purposes. Yes, to get high grades, that's a different issue, but like they don't show the wear the way that some of these cards do from like the 55 Bowman set in the same way.
Oh, the
Just
collecting
my
of
opinion on that one.
Right. The collecting
Where's the
nomad just
Minoso? Well, I had a Minoso, but mine was creased so bad I just got rid of it.
so I
That's a good bunting card, yeah.
right. And if the president's not still on right now, he's gonna love this. I have the Minoso and I have it autographed, and it's at PSA right now getting graded.
Oh,
So,
sweet.
so yeah, I actually got it as a gift from Chris from Missouri. So
Nice. That's a very generous gift.
yeah, oh, it's crazy. I was
My
showing.
Minoso autograph is with the Cardinals.
That's cool.
At
I'm
least
okay
one.
with that too. And yeah, in honor of Scott Reindeer Studios again, I should have showed the bunny card. I just don't have it right now. So it is a
Oh,
beautiful
we could
card.
find some other bunting cards, but
Right, exactly.
that's interesting. We found some synergy there, and I love 56 too. So I think I almost picked that one. I was between that. It was between 52 tops, 52 Bowman, 56 tops, and then what was the other one that really was kind of calling to me? I got like 53 tops. Yeah, those are the ones
53.
I was like, these are my favorite ones.
I
So
like
yeah.
57, and a lot of people don't. I think I saw
Mhm.
Pastor Craig say I'm not real keen on 57. A lot of
Okay.
people, I know a lot of people don't like it. I love
Well,
57.
that's a transition, for me. If I'll take over here.
Go
So
ahead.
I think my underappreciated set for the 50s is actually 57 top. So it's going to be a little hard to show this because this is actually my set in the binder. But like you can see, like the 57
Yeah,
top set here, it's just loaded
that's
with Hall of
awesome.
Famers, which is one of the things that stands out to me on here. And it's the first top set with full color photographs on here. Yeah, they didn't do it as well as 53 Bowman, which that's for sure. But like some of the coloring with like the names and things, just I think looks really kind of cool in contrast to the image itself on the card. There's the reverse image of Hank Aaron right there.
Yep.
And the full stat line on the back, that was like totally innovative. And the
Right.
current card size is what we still use today. So I just love the innovations of the set. It's loaded with rookies, it's loaded with Hall of Fame ball players. And you can still find a lot of these cards pretty affordable because it is kind of the redheaded stepchild of the 1950s, at least top sets go.
Yeah.
Some of them don't go as high as some of the other sets cards from like even just 56 the year before, which I think brings you a lot of value as a collector. At some point, I'll want to kind of, take some of these out, probably put them in for grading and stuff like that. But I remember being tickled pink when I got that Mickey Mantle coming in the mail and I opened it up. I'm like, I finally got the Mickey Mantle for this set and things
Heck
like
yeah.
that. And Sandy Koufax, which is a funny as hell image of him. But it's fun for that reason. His
I
goofy grin on there is like wonderful for me.
and innovative in a couple ways. Full stat line and then the standardization of card size, right? It was the first set after, 56, 55, 54, all oversized cards. 57 became the standard of, I guess, our card, what is considered a standard card size, if you will. So,
Right. And they're so much easier to store, but like they
yes.
didn't think of storage at that time. Like, come
No,
on.
no.
Yeah.
All
I mean,
right.
there's
So,
like really good rookies in here from Brooks Robinson to
Mazur-
Drysdale,
Mazeroski,
Bill Mazeroski, still alive, still with us.
Bunning,
I think some of the other ones in there that I'm kind of like not off the top of my head, but there's a lot of Frank Robinson is
Jim
part of that
Bunning.
set too.
Jim Bunning's another
Jim
one.
Bunning in there
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, this is perfect that you've got that. My man Joe's got a comment, thoughts on the 59. So my underappreciated set is the 59 set.
Let's see some 59s.
I've
Yeah.
fallen in love with the 59 set, and this is going to be the next quote unquote Hall of Fame run that I do. It might not be all graded, and I don't care about that. That doesn't mean much to me, but this is my 59 Nelly. I've got a bunch here. There's my 59 Mini. They don't have to be Hall of Famers for me, guys, and everybody knows I'm a Sherm Lawler guy. So there's my Sherm, 59 Sherm, Aparicio. Great combo cards, and again, vertical and horizontal. Keystone combos, Aparicio Nelly, great card. Duke Schneider, I bought this in Columbus, Missouri when I was with Chris and Billy Ballgame. Just bought this at my local card shop last weekend. Billy Pierce, great card.
Yeah, I have that autographed actually. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Sweet.
Robin Roberts, another. I bought this at Strongsville last year. Ashburn Mays, Ashburn, and then some. I mean, the thing is, you can find the 59 set ungraded in really, really good shape. Like this Drysdale's in fantastic shape.
Yeah. Pastor Craig does not like them. It's not centered.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
There's my graded
That's
bunny.
that's a beautiful card.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I again, I'm a sucker for red backgrounds. This is one of
Mhm.
the first 59s I bought. Now this is definitely not Dylan approved, but it gets away with it because of the yellow background. It is extremely off-centered
Yeah.
left to right, but I love the
I like that
car.
they reintroduced the color photographs in there too, because they kind of cropped the image for 58, which still
Correct.
makes really cool design. But
Correct.
they I did something different, I think, to help spice up the card a little bit.
Yeah,
Because
and
like
then
the 57s, yeah, the pictures could be better.
right, and I guess you'd say, Dylan, if Dylan were to ask what's my favorite card out of this set, right there. I love that card.
Yeah.
Frank Robinson, 59 Frank Robinson. I think it's a
Mhm.
beautiful card. So, um, and much like Orlando said, the set itself has some phenomenal subsets within it. So yeah,
You have the
I've kind
Gibson
of
yet?
what's that?
Do you have the Gibson yet?
I do not. I do not have the Gibson yet, and that's the funny thing. The whole we always say collect what you like, correct? That's what you hear from everybody. And my whole thing was I kind of want to be a completist, and then I have the focus of a gnat. So I want to complete the 56 set, and then I want to complete the 59 set, but I'm too busy buying pre-war right now. So it's like
I do a couple things at once because move back and forth with them for that
right,
same reason. Just because
right,
sometimes I do lose a little bit of an interest. So
right. So yeah, thank you, Craig. So yeah, that's so we covered the decade of the 50s. That wasn't too bad. Now I will tell you, out of the 50s, the 56 set is what I have 20 some cards here. The rest I'll have less of, and you'll find that the sets that I picked the least of, I have the least amount of cards, and that wasn't on purpose, but maybe it is, and subconsciously I just
could be.
don't gravitate to it as much. So
The most I have in the 50s is the 57 set. It's the only one I finished so far. But
okay,
then
okay,
it's 53 Bowman, the next highest amount that I had. So,
sure,
but
sure,
I'm close to finishing that too. So I think I'm a little over 100 cards or so with that.
okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That one I
Well,
really like too. It was hard not picking that one.
right,
Yeah. It was hard.
right.
I think if Bowman maybe last a decade, I might have put that in there, but that was kind of its swan song because I think they deteriorated a bit with 54 and then 55, in my opinion. Even though some of the cooler cards of 54, I think we all love, right?
I,
Like the Williams and the Mantle. But
I
for me,
love
they
the
still kind of
mantle.
look like school book photos,
Right.
school year photos.
I
They're just
I
sitting
love the
down in a little
mantle.
chair and kind of
Yeah.
posed in there, at
I love the
least for those two
Campanella.
players in particular.
I think the Campanella is a great 54 Bowman. I love the Camp.
Yeah. Hmm. Nellie
But
Fox is a nice looking one too. Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
Mhm.
So I guess
All right. So we're on to
you
the 60s. Am I
yeah,
supposed to kick off this one? Because you just finished, right?
you
Yeah,
kick
for your
off. Go ahead and you
unappreciated.
kick off.
All right. So my favorite selection from the 60s, and
Am
this
I
was
on
hard.
solo still or is Jeff just
Yeah, you might be, but
okay.
let's see. Let's take you off here because that would have been kind of hard
Here we
for
go.
people to see my
Perfect.
cards in there. So thanks for calling that out. So the 60s was hard because there's a few sets that I really like, but not like the 50s. There's some that I definitely am not as thrilled with. Um, but the ones I like, I really like. Yeah, and so that list kind of consists of 67, 69, 65, 63, and so and so forth. But the one I really settled on is the one I keep gravitating back towards, and it will be something I want to complete at some point. And I just pulled out a few cards that I have from it. It's 1960, I think, for me. It was the very first set in the decade. But I just really love it's like the quintessential set of the late 50s and 60s. It looks like advertisements you see like during this period of time. It reminds you of some of the movies and things that were kind of made at this time, the way they kind of like did the card designs and the different graphics and things they have with the lettering and the team names. So for me, it just kind of feels vintage to that era more so than even some of the other sets that you see at that time. And that's why I really kind of enjoy it. I love the black and white photo on here next to the color photo. And as you know, if anybody who collects like the 60s set, a lot of these images were reused on other cards. And I'll show you one in a minute. That kind of illustrates that, like the early Wen was used on this 1960 bazooka on there. So like that example how it was used, but like the Sandy Koufax, this is like the image they used for a 61 Topps card. So they're starting to kind of at that point run out of like ideas of what to do with all the photographs, and they just start reusing them. Kind of started with 1960, it
Right.
seems, for the most part. But other than that, I mean, like this car reminds me of going to Dodger Stadium
Yeah.
with all the
And it
blue on it and yellow. Just reminds me of kind of walking into Dodger Stadium when I was there on a tour back in January.
they
And the
kind
All
of
Star cards are
reissued
pretty cool. I
they
think
kind of
with the big
reissued
60 in
the
the background. Yeah.
oh, that's fantastic. I love that
Hmm.
card. They reissued images in 55 and 56s too. A lot of the
True,
portrait
true, true,
shots,
true. Yeah.
yeah, are the same portrait shots. So they were, once the mid 50s came, Topps had no shame in the game about using the same image multiple times.
Dylan's least favorite Bowman set besides the black and white. Are you talking about black and white 53 Bowman? Because I'll kind of agree with you potentially on that one, but don't be bashing my 48 Bowman, man.
So 60 was your favorite set.
That was my favorite set. And I just pulled out a couple. And if
Yeah,
we have
I
more
did. I
time, I
did
could
the
probably
same.
can dig through some boxes and get a few more.
I didn't pull them all out of my favorite, but my favorite set, and I will, for those who are watching before I show a card, I call this the Billy Ball Game set. And that is the 1960 Topps. So same set is
Oh man,
my list.
must be something in the water of
Yeah,
Chicagoland here. We have a lot of synergy on this.
yeah. So there's my Kurt Flood.
Mhm.
We got Nelly.
Yeah, we both did Nelly.
Yeah, of course. Of course we're gonna do. I got Aparicio. I actually have this card going out to someone as a gift, and this is gonna leave the collection, and I'll get another one.
Yeah.
My Gil Hodges. This is for my man Pastor Craig. He's a big Al Kaline guy. I love this card of Kaline. I think it's a great card. And again, they don't have to be Hall of Famers to be cool, guys.
Yeah, McCovey's are cool in that set.
There's a Bobby Thompson. We all know what he did.
Mhm.
I think I did a video on this and you commented on it. Great card, Bobby Shaw. Again, for my guy, Pastor Craig, Eddie Matthews.
You have the Gary Peter card yet? Or it's actually
you know
like a
what?
photo error? It's actually a picture of somebody else?
I don't have the Gary Peter. I do have, here's my Stan the Man. I do have...
I figured you were going to show Gibson, so I didn't pull mine out.
Oh, actually, mine's sitting... I didn't pull it out. It's sitting right over here. I forgot to pull it out. I showed it yesterday, I think, on another live. So there's my big Ted Kozlowski. There's my Billy Pierce. And then my Ernie Banks.
Yeah, I was with you when you got that one.
Yes, you were with me with the Banks. And yeah, you. It's funny, you showed the early win. I forgot to pull I have the early win as well. I'm like, all right. Well,
yeah, it's in my box of things to be sent off to be graded. I have like that in there, Robin Roberts, and a few other like kind of minor players from the 1960s.
But
all right, this is a good time to. Actually, his camera's not on yet, but as soon as it is, I'll bring him on. It looks like RJ's starting to get in the room with Jake.
Awesome.
So now we're on to, I think you lead this off, your least favorite set from the 1960s.
I have two cards from it, and if you watched my video that I did, I don't know, a week or two ago, it is probably my least favorite set. I still like it, but it's the most mundane set to me, and it's the 66 Topps. I just don't really gravitate to it too well. This is my Jim Cott. I only grabbed two, and then this one's in my display case because I want to show all the sets. There's my Lou Brock. It doesn't just do a whole heck of a lot for me. I love the 65s for the pennants. I'm a huge fan of the 69s. 63, I love. This was a toss-up, and Orlando is going to be angry because I think he loves the 62 set. It's 66 and 62, but I'm starting to gravitate towards some of the images on 62 that I really like. I think the Juan Marichal's awesome. I think the All-Star Willie Mays card is awesome. There's a lot of cards that go real well with the 62 set. So I picked, 62. So I picked 66 as my least favorite, but still love them.
Okay.
So.
All right, RJ is here, so I'm going to bring him on. Good evening, gentlemen.
Awesome.
Hey.
RJ, how you doing?
Jake,
how are you guys doing? Nice to meet you. We've never chatted before, I don't think. So we're
nice to meet you
live.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
We've been rushing home.
These two have been busy selling a lot of their collection, so we'll get a chance to hear a little bit about that. So yeah, we're kind of right in the middle of our rankings. We're in the 60s at this point.
So give me a little recap. Who'd you pick?
So like for the 60s, our favorite set so far was 1960. For
For
both
both
of us,
of
we
us.
both picked that
Right.
independently.
Right.
Our set that we didn't like, or that he didn't like, he liked the least, I should say, was 66. And then it was going to be my turn. But if you want to jump in with the one you don't like from the 1960s, go for it.
No, you guys go. We're getting ready here.
Yeah.
Okay, all
Okay.
right. You can weigh in on it. So you mentioned it, Jason, as you were talking about 66, but this is going to be like very similar reason why I had problems with 55 Bowman is the wear issues, is the 62 top set.
Sure.
It's not because it isn't a fantastic set. So this one's actually a 6 and it looks fantastic. So if you can get them like in this grade or higher, go for it. It's a phenomenal set if you can get it in high grade. If you're lower grade, like by Aparicio over here, you're like, it shows every little bit of wear on the sides here. And it deters me from like how good the image is otherwise. And I'm like not satisfied if I like had a PSA 2 mantle because it looks crappy to me. But
Sure.
you know, like I can't afford the PSA 6s and 7s and things like that. So maybe it's also me being a little discouraged with like not being able to get like the players I really want there because they're too expensive for me.
Sure. Sure.
So Orlando kind of agrees there. And for me, it's just the wear. It really is because I like the All-Star cards. I like the sort of inaction cards that they have there. I like the player selection that's in the set. I like the photographs that are in the set. You know, they can be a little dark at some points, but for the most part, that is not the issue. It's totally the wood borders on there and how they
Right.
wear.
Right.
I know it's petty, I think, to kind of focus on that one issue, but for me, it drives me up the wall.
It's a lot of that. You're not alone in that, and I am far less picky of a collector. Like a little wear doesn't bother me. I would consider myself a mid to low grade collector. So, you know, I don't mind a Mickey Mantle and a 2. If it's semi good, if it's semi decent, I just want to have the card. And you know, I've actually had people when I've showed cards on my channel say, "Hey, have you ever thought about, you know, saving up and stepping up in grade?" And I said, "Well, and I mean it. This isn't just an homage to the president. That number doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot to me. You had given me a gift, or no, I won a prize on your channel. It's the 62 autographed Jim Cott.
Oh, that's right. You did win something.
Yeah,
yep.
and I love that card. I love that card.
It was you and Scott, I think, won things on my channel.
Yeah. So I love it. It's actually in the display case, or it might be over here. It might be next to me here. So, but yeah. So that's probably. I get it. I understand it. Again, what I'm saying when I say I don't.
Ooh, we have somebody bashing on 68.
Joe, I'm there with Joe. I'm there
with Joe too.
Yeah, when I do
my run. Oh my God, where's my 68 set? It looks beautiful in a binder, guys. Come on, like this is no.
That burlap
this thing's phenomenal when you have them all side by side. It's just beautiful. I'm not going to convince you otherwise. I know.
To me, it looks like bad wallpaper.
Right, they look together.
Right.
This is phenomenal.
I gave away my Mickey Mantle on the channel. I'm like, all right.
You did,
yeah. Oh, here we go. But yeah, so I guess where are we at? Are we at the most or it's not underappreciated? So yeah. I went off the rails here a little bit. So I went beyond. So in the 60s, particularly in 64 and beyond, they started pumping on a lot of different stuff. A lot of the,
he's looking for the Tyson and Paul fight.
Yeah.
I know this is just Jason and Mitchell disagreeing about 68 tops. In the background. It's not going to come to fisticuffs.
This is not a set from either of the major manufacturer, but it's a set that I love. And if anybody knows this channel, they know that I love it. And it's the 1964 Aurora Vision record. So
there you go.
I am one record away from.
We'll accept that non-traditional entry.
I love it. Yeah, beautiful card. Our beautiful record. So you've got the Mick. I've got. So for those who watch my channel, they came out in 64. There are 16 images within the 64 set, and then in 62 they did test proofs. So this is the 64 Mickey Mantle. And then this is the 62 test proof Mickey Mantle. So there are three image variations from 62. It's Rocky Calabito, it's Mickey Mantle, and then I think it's Jim Gentile are the 3 variations. So I am the Willie Mays away from the 64, and I should have bought it at the National. Here's the 64 Jim Gentile. I am the Willie Mays, and then the two variations away from having all 19 images. There's Pete Ward, our White Sox guy. Ernie Banks.
Nice.
And the images are just gorgeous on these. You know, if you don't mind oversized, these are beautiful and extremely affordable, guys. If you are a fan of any of these players, you can get this at a fraction of the cost. Most of these are like $8 to $10 depending on the player, obviously. I think
Have you ever listened to it?
What's that? So
there's
a channel on YouTube, RJ, that plays every record. So
oh, wow.
I was gonna ask you if you listened to them.
Yeah, I have. They're actually great interviews, and I forgot the channel's name, but you can look him up, and he plays every one of them.
Wow.
I will play him backwards.
Mookie doesn't want you to play him backwards.
When I play them backwards, it talks about how fantastic the Mets are for Mookie when you play him backwards. So here's my Ken Boyer.
Yeah, that's me.
All right, that's your favorite then.
Bob Allison, Whitey Ford, and then Roger Maris, and I think that's all of them. And then back to the Koufax. And the Koufax is just a fantastic image. That's such an awesome image.
Yeah, I think anytime he's like getting ready to wind, that's a really cool image of Koufax.
So I mean,
he's in mid delivery.
Yeah,
Sweet.
if you're just looking to do the set, I know. Like I was talking to Greg Midlife Cards, chatting with him, and he was at a card show. He texted me and said he found the whole set in fantastic condition, unpunched like mine. And I was already like 75 to 80% done with the set. He said, I found the whole set, and his buddy bought it for like $150, all 16 of them, unpunched,
oh, wow.
in perfect condition. So you can find them.
Affordable.
Yeah, very affordable. Once you
get grade those?
They do. PSA grades them. PSA does grade them. I'm not a huge grading guy, and I have graded cards. I won't send any. I thought about it. I may, but we'll see. It'll probably be the image variation mantle from 62. And I love the Koufax, maybe the Koufax, but that would be it. But yeah, they're just fan. And then once they get great, then they get expensive. The minute they put that PSA label on them, if you've got a Mickey Mantle and a 5 or 6, it becomes $400.
Imagine it's harder to play too after that too.
Yeah, a little bit, right? I think I got the variation at the National. Dave, Legends of the Dugout, found it for me at the National when we were all running around, and I got it for $80, and that was the image variation mantle. That's a 62 mantle, so you can't go wrong. So, absolutely love them. But yeah, that's my off the rails of non-subset or non-major distributed sets.
SGC will do them too, apparently, for $50.
Yes.
I'll probably give you a holder this big for it.
Right. It'll be the size of a car.
Do you want to take a swing now, Jake and RJ?
Yeah.
As far as like, what's your most underappreciated set? That's what we're on, right? For the 60s. I already have mine pulled for mine.
Pick the wrong card.
Get there in a minute. If it needs a minute, I can jump in, but
and James is awesome. I met James at Strongsville as well too.
Yeah. I froze for a minute. Oh, there we go. Oh, 1967 is the selection from these gentlemen down on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, this is our favorite set by far. And a lot of people don't like this set, but I like the challenge of the high numbers.
Yeah, I will tell you this, RJ. That was, if I didn't go with my Aurora Vision records, the 67 set was going to be my most underappreciated set. I love it.
Yes.
I love the 67 set.
How close are you guys now to finishing it?
Yeah. We got a
You
few
guys
more
getting
cards.
closer? Okay.
Probably around the same thing. We haven't really focused on that. We probably need about 20 more.
Yeah, we're not really focused on sets a lot.
Yeah.
That's Greg's asking Orlando, which is the toughest.
Yeah,
Actually, 67 is harder than 66.
Yeah, 67.
Yeah, that's
high
pretty
numbers
well
are
known.
rough. Yeah,
As far as like
rough.
the vintage year, it goes like 52, 67, 66 is probably the 3 hardest top sets to probably complete.
There you go.
That's going to be our underappreciated.
Yes.
You don't hear a lot about it.
No, and phenomenal cards.
Yeah.
Good selection. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good set.
Well,
Least favorite, Jakey? What do you think? I'm in
Mm,
agreement with you on this.
62.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of those like images, like the Lou Brock rookie and the Perry
I
cards.
like-
like the Lou
I don't know.
Brock. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a good.
Yeah.
That's a good one. But the centering, it kills me with the centering on these cards. You can never really get a good centered.
Well, that's
card.
great,
It's
Pastor
tough.
Craig. Found a stack of them.
It's like the 54 Bowman.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's some similarity there. The coloring
Yeah.
and the clarity of the image.
So what
Well,
do you got,
mine-
Mitchell, for under
Mine,
a
we've already touched on it, and it's the same one as Jake and RJ. It's 67. So
Right.
yeah, I think part of the fun, beyond just like having the full color image of the set, which I think really kind of makes it pop with the big lettering there, and also the facsimile of their autograph, is the chase for the high numbers. Anyone that's gone down that path and completed it never regrets it. They hate it in the process of doing it, but then they're like, once they got it, it feels like it doesn't. It felt so different than any other set I've ever completed because of the level of difficulty, kind of getting some of these high numbers. Like I went to numerous card shows and card shops and times on eBay, just trying to be able to find some of the high numbers in like conditions I wanted to be able to complete the set. I have the binder down here too, but I don't need to pick that up. I just pulled like 4 cards that I had that were graded from the set.
Sure.
And yeah, I mean, it's obviously, I guess I didn't intend to, but I picked some of the more expensive ones by doing so. But yeah, I mean, the only card I really kind of have mixed feelings about, and we talked about this before too, RJ, is Mickey Mantle's card. The extreme close up.
I
The
agree.
mantle probably after he's been on a bender.
I agree.
It's
agree.
funny.
It's all
I thought
red.
about it the first time I got it. Like I wanted some pretty nice condition too, but it's just a funny looking image of him.
Yeah.
I think they redeemed themselves with 68 and 69 where he's in the batting stance. 66 looks nice too. It's just like this one right in the middle of that grouping. It's like, whoa, what's this?
I agree.
My
I agree.
favorite. Can you get that one? That Mickey
What do you
Mantle?
think? The toughest card for you to get was the Seaver in that.
Pink one. This
Oh,
is
Orlando's upset we didn't like
but I actually
love the 62s. I said I like the 62s in good condition and high condition. I do. I think they're beautiful. They don't wear well, which drives me crazy. Not that I want worn cards, but the tour's
So-
important for me.
So I'm gonna disagree with him. My actual favorite set from the 60s is the 65. Actually,
Great
Good
set.
choice.
Good choice.
Yeah. We talked about that one a little bit too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was on
Everybody
my
loves
list.
the pennants. You
Yeah.
gotta love the pennant.
Yep.
Colors, the pennant. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice one,
The
Jake.
rookie cards look kind of cool in there too.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
with you on that one. I like 64 a lot, and a lot of people find that kind of boring and mundane. 64 and 67. I
Yeah,
love
we started
them.
that set too.
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah, 64, I think in high grade looks fantastic.
Yeah,
They
and I love
they
the
really
mantle
do
on
pop.
the 64. I think that's a great mantle as well.
yeah,
I think it's one that's like printed a little bit more too, so it's not as scarce as some of the other cards.
Right.
And that
Yeah,
set
mine-
was like double printed, I think I'm not mistaken, so it's not like gonna kill
That's
you
my
to
mantle.
buy it.
Show 'em.
All right,
So
what
we
do you
got a
think Jake knows
spawn.
what's
This is one of
happening
our
and what's
newer
up with
pickups.
card collecting.
There you go.
Pop 13.
Thoughts on 63? 63 is beautiful,
64.
That's
It's
just
64.
hands down. It does show wear in the corners because it has color bottom, but just kind of like 53 tops. You know, it just comes with the turf.
You know what I do like a lot about? I love the 64 Vennies. I think the 64 Vennies are phenomenal, and it's good if you're just diving into Venezuelan issues. You know, the backs are black, so they're easier
Hey,
to
Chris.
distinguish. It's not like the 59s where it's tough to even tell if it's a Venny or not. 64 Vennies are great if you're just starting to dive into Vennies.
Well, that's cool. Someone remembers opening 65 packs. That's really cool. Got the right audience tonight.
Oh, James has got some amazing
Yeah.
stuff.
So before we get into the 70s, Jake and RJ, did you want to do your 3 for the 50s? Did you have them pulled? So we did those. My favorite was 52. My least favorite was 55, and the underappreciated set was 57. And Jason, your favorite was 56. Your least favorite was
Underappreciated
also 55 Bowman.
Bowman, and then
The underappreciated
50
was 59.
59
yeah.
was my underappreciated. Yes.
The Hawk, Ken Harrelson.
I will tell you, 65 has some of the ugliest cards. It's got the Warren Spawn card is one of the ugliest cards ever. The 65 tops, and
Put his baseball cap back on, please.
and in honor of Mookie, the 65 Ken Boyer is hideous because he's in a Mets uniform. So
the Yogi doesn't look great too because he just really kind of shows his age at that point.
Right.
65 is sweet.
Yeah, 53.
Oh, did you settle on 53 as your favorite?
Are they muted?
I don't know if they're muted or he's trying to make us read his lips. Yeah, we did lose the audio.
They might need
Yeah,
to
I think
come
they
in.
did. So that was your favorite then?
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us? Yeah,
We
we can't
cannot
hear you
hear
guys.
you.
Yeah.
You might need to come in and come out.
All right, so they'll be
Yeah.
back. All right, so do you want to start tackling the 70s?
Mookie, yeah, sure. I was just reading Mookie's comment. So if we are going to tackle the 70s, I guess, am I starting with favorites?
Here they're back.
Okay, there we go.
Can we hear you guys? We can't hear you. You can participate by showing us what's your least favorite set.
He pressed the button.
There we go.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
All right.
There we go.
He's like, I know what it is. I know what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, 53 is fantastic.
Yeah.
If you only collected one set, it was 53. You won't be sad.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna pick the 56 tops.
Yeah, that's what I picked.
Your favorite? Yeah.
It's one of my
Second
favorite
showing your
banners.
mantle there tonight.
Yeah, I had to show
Is
mine.
that Jackie in that set?
Yes,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
his
yeah,
last
yeah.
card.
What would you say is your
Oh.
least favorite 50?
Well,
Warren
actually,
somehow missed the invite, Jason.
Warren,
I do
you're all
like-
good.
You're gonna have to apologize to him later.
I actually do like the 52 Maze too. That's a good one.
That's a great card. That's a fantastic
My
card.
least favorite is probably the 50. I mean,
I think we're on the same page here. Look.
58. Yeah. No, I was gonna say either 58.
This is definitely my least favorite.
I love it. A
Yeah,
lot
you
of
have one
people
that's
don't like
autographed.
this set.
I can't
I
stand
lo-
this.
That card in particular is a little rough, but I love the 58 set.
Let the man rest in peace.
Yeah.
I guess we were talking in one of the other live streams recently about the Chaw collection. I guess if you had that Brooks Robinson card, it would go right there in that Chaw collection.
Right.
I think it's Chaw. It might be Bubblegum, but I'm not sure.
Every
But
Nelly and Mazeroski card will go in that.
Tops did him dirty.
Yes.
I think that one is your least favorite.
Brooks has got some nice cards as you get into the 60s and 70s, though. So.
His 60 is phenomenal. His 61 is really nice.
The 67 and 69 are the same image.
Right. Isn't the 67 a high number? Is it 67 a high
Yeah.
What
number?
about the
Yeah, don't get confused. That's the one you want for the set, not the 69.
Right. Right.
the 54?
All right, I guess we're on to the 1970s. Jake and RJ, would you like to lead us off with your favorite set from the 1970s?
No, you
I
guys
think
go.
I
We'll
maybe
follow
only
mine.
picked
Okay.
two sets from the 70s. I have to pick one more, so I'll let you guys go first.
All
You
right,
guys go
well,
first.
I'll
We'll
go
get
with
to it.
I'll go with my favorite 70s, and I want to be in good graces with the mayor of Hobbytown, and that's Orlando. My favorite 70s set is the 1970 set. I absolutely love this set, and a lot of people find it boring and mundane. I just love it.
Not at all.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. So there's my Aparicio. I just grabbed a few.
78.
Got my Lou Brock. I know 75 is a big popular set. That was up there for me.
I don't like 78.
So there's my Sutton, Don Sutton.
And I don't like the 71.
Got my
Orlando
Clemente.
thinks your selection is boring, but that's okay. We still like Orlando nevertheless.
Yes. And then there's my Raleigh. And then I've got lastly I got my Reggie. So I
Actually,
just
a really
love
good selection of Hall of Famers still, because a lot of the guys who played were stars in the 50s are still in that set. If they start to disappear,
And you're
couple
getting these,
years
and
later.
you're getting the next generation of the Raleighs and the Suttons and the Reggies in there too. So it's you know what? It's a simplistic set. I just think I love the gray. I think they're fantastic cards. When they're in really good shape, they look incredible. I just
It's my
love them.
favorite Ryan card as a Met.
Yes, I love it.
That
I
image in
love that
particular.
card.
It's 1970.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right. Do you want me to do my favorite?
Yeah,
This shouldn't
go ahead.
come as a surprise to you guys. Especially not to you, RJ, because we did a video on it together. 1972, right? Without a doubt. Again, the quintessential 1970s set with all the way they designed the lettering on here, the colors, there's multiple colors they have here, the in-action shots. You just can't go wrong with 1972, I think. You can also get multiple cards of a Hall of Famer if they have an in-action photo. And they're also part of the traded set. You might get 3, depending on who it is. The 72 high numbers are the hardest ones to get of that decade, so it makes it kind of fun doing the chase of completing that set. It was the largest top set they ever produced at that point, and they didn't revisit that number again until the 80s. They didn't surpass it. Just beautiful, 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 beautiful cards. I built it at a time where it was a little more affordable to do so. So now I know it's like a little bit pricier to be able to put these things together, but I just love everything about it. It's got a mixture of still uniforms from the 1960s and introducing a lot of the newer uniforms of the 1970s in there as well. So it's kind of got that mix of new and old, that transition era right there. You got the players that are still kind of from the 1950s and 60s, still kind of lingering on into this set. And you have like all the new stars that are coming up, the Garveys and the Buckners and all these other players that went on to play big roles throughout the 1970s and 80s into my childhood. For the most part, you start seeing a lot of their rookie cards here, including Carlton Fisk, somebody that was a big star here locally when I was a kid.
Yep.
72 all the way, all day.
It
my
is
favorite set.
To me, the 72 and the 75 are the quintessential 70s sets, period. They just, everything about the coloring in the 72, the lettering, it just is, it just screams 70s to me. All right. So what does RJ and Jake have? You guys got yours, your favorite 70?
All right. This is definitely your least favorite. That one. All right. This is my least favorite.
73.
Yeah.
73.
It's just so boring.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it's just blah.
Yep.
And now Jake's least favorite, which I like, so I'm going to do it. I guess I'll do it as my favorite.
No.
No, this is Jake's least favorite.
71's a great set.
71. Okay.
I love
You don't like it.
Wow.
Why is that? I think some people think it's one of the most beautiful sets
it's just
ever.
weird with- How is black
It's
and
tough to get a nice card in there.
how does black, blue,
Yeah.
and how does black, blue, and orange go together in one card?
They don't. That's what makes it
Yeah,
awesome.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They don't go together.
So you're not a fan of this year's top set too? Because they bring back the black in a big way too.
Yeah, 2024.
You mean the Stadium Club?
No, the regular set and the chrome set. Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know.
I'm sticking with my birth year. 78 tops.
Nice. That's your favorite.
Favorite set.
Okay.
Favorite set? Okay.
That was one of my least favorites.
I don't know. I just feel like there's so many good players in it.
I like the cursive
Eddie
on
Murray.
there. I think it looks really cool.
Eddie Murray.
Murray.
Eddie Murray.
Don't sleep on Eddie Murray.
You want to show the
I
Eddie
will.
Murray?
I can actually go to my least favorite set because it coincides with what RJ just showed. My least favorite set is a 73 as well. Happens to be my birth year. So
Wow.
December of 73. You know, I wish it was a cooler set. And don't get me wrong, I like them, and I have. I grabbed 4 of them, but you know, just a blah set. Much like RJ said, doesn't do a whole heck of a lot for me. If I were to pick a set, that's probably my least favorite in the 70s.
I kind of like the simplicity of the design. 73.
Yeah, that's what I love about 70.
Yeah.
To me,
Yeah.
the simplicity of 70 is just there.
Now we're on to our least favorite one, right?
That was
thinking,
least favorite for me.
That was least favorite for you, right?
Did you do least
RJ, what's your
favorite?
least favorite set from the 70s? You know, Jake
Mine
already
was
gave
the
us ours.
73.
It was
RJ
73 too, so it's my
as well.
turn. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Let me get the right binder here. Oh, here it is. I'm going to pick my birth year as like my least favorite set. And for those of you who like this set, don't kill me. But I felt the tops got a little boring after 76 for a few years. Even though I do like some of the cards that are in like the 77, 78, and 79 sets. I think they needed some of that competition to start making some really cool designs again in the 80s. It's 77. 77 just doesn't really do it for me. Yeah, I mean, they're kind of trying to maybe do a little pennant thing with the position of the player on there and different colors for the teams and the facsimile signature. It just doesn't really pop to me in a way that I really kind of admire about cards from even the 60s and early 70s, especially the 50s, or even the early 80s. I like some of the sets in the early 80s much better than some of these sets from the late 70s. So that would be mine.
I like the George Brett in that set.
77
I
set.
like that set really much. I really like that set.
77.
You like that set? Yeah.
I see where you're at with it. I like the George Brett set as well,
Yeah.
RJ. I agree. But I can see that. That's probably lower on my list of the 70 sets as well.
Oh no, that's the least favorite. I need you to sit.
Now
There we go.
now we can do the most what you feel is the most underappreciated.
Most
set.
underappreciated. Yeah.
Most
So I lead off.
Appreciated.
On that one since I just went last.
Probably.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
think
we'll
we
let
have-
Jake go since he's already starting to talk.
You know, I've got mine lined up if you want me to go.
Yeah, you
So, my most I have two sets, so I cheated again. So when we're talking main sets, I feel that the 76 is fairly underrated. I love the lettering and the
76 is
coloring
cool
on the
set.
bottom.
Yeah.
I think it's a great set. I think there's some phenomenal cards in this. There's my Bucky Dent. I think these next three cards I love all three of these cards. I think this Dave Parker is an awesome card. I love the Gold Cup Fred Lynn. And then probably my favorite George Brett card is 76. I love the 76 George Brett. But to coincide with that, something that kind of is in line with my Aurora visions, if we're talking images, I think the 70 Supers are extremely underrated. I love the Supers.
Do you prefer 70 over 71 or it doesn't matter?
I like them both. I grabbed 70. I have 71s here as well. I grabbed a couple 70s, but I like them both. I like all of the Supers. The 69s are phenomenal. Obviously, they're smaller.
I think
Okay. Most 70 designs remind me of Taco Bell menus.
Specifically the 72. But this is an affordable way to get into if you're just looking for ungraded stuff. There's my Willie Mays. They could be a little more beat up and still look really good. I just think they're phenomenal.
Hey, Karen?
Somebody just mentioned this, I think.
Yeah, I
74 set.
showed the 76.
I almost
Parker.
picked that one as my least favorite, but then I was like, pulled up some of the cards. I'm like, yeah, no, actually,
I think
kind of like those. Yeah.
I think the Kellogg's are a little underappreciated.
Yes,
Appreciate it.
that's an awesome. I love that Clemente. That's a great card.
I like the
Yeah.
Kellogg's.
Yeah, I
nice
didn't go.
run
I
too.
didn't
They
go.
went on
I
for
didn't go
into the
far off
early
the
80s.
rails. Like I was gonna go post cereal, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna back it up a little bit here. Maybe that's a video for another time. We can do non-main issued.
Yeah.
Post cereals and Aurora Visions, and you can get into some crazy 50s. You can go off the rails. Red Hearts and Red Mans and Hunter Wieners and yada yada.
Burke Ross. Yeah.
Burke Ross and yeah. So
This is my turn now, huh? Gonna hit up to
Yes, sir.
70. All right, let's mention this card earlier. Let me try to go to the back and actually pull it up in here. So Jason, with you, I do think that there is something to behold about 1970, although clearly it's polarizing set from what we're hearing. So here it is, the 1970 set. I pulled all the way up to the back so you can see the Nolan Ryan card in there, which is my favorite. Again, my favorite image of him as a Met in particular.
I think it's his best card. That and the 69.
71 is a cool action shot. You just don't really see him. You
Right.
see his
Yeah.
pitching. You don't see his face. But yeah, and I had fun putting this together too because those cards are not easy to find sometimes, nor was 71. 72 was the hardest of the three by far, but it was a fun chase, kind of putting this set together. I built this one and the 71 set at the same time, so I was often trying to get cards from either set when I was like going to card shops, purchasing off Greg Morse cards is a great place to be able to do because he does so many set breaks at their site. So
Right.
Yeah.
much cheaper than it is now to be able to do that, but that's
No,
how I did it back in the day.
That's
so
it. I'm with you.
27 years ago. So
What are you guys working on now? Anything?
Me in particular, I'm eyeing up a couple cards right now. They're on auction, so I'm not saying what they are. I'll just say there's 2 pre-war cards that end on Sunday that I'm
nice.
looking into. So,
no, thought you
I'm
weren't saying
saving-
anything. We got a card show coming up next weekend.
yeah. So and that's the other thing. I'm gonna probably do all 3 days there, and I'm probably not buying a ton. I'm really saving for Strongsville. I've got a big card in mind that I think I'm gonna be able to snag at Strongsville, and I'm trying to save every penny for it. So it's kind of what I'm looking.
When is that? When is Strongsville?
April. It's in April.
It's the 51 Bowman Paul Richards, right? That's what you're
Yeah, of
talking about.
course. Actually, I want that card. I do want that card. I do want that card. It's
Yeah, me
pretty
too
fun.
now. Yeah.
It's just fun. But yeah, it is. And again, it's a pre-war card as well. So if I go, or when I go to the Sports Spectacular next weekend, it might be filling out my 56 Hall of Fame run with some smaller Hall of Famers, or maybe the 59. And I say that I'm going to go right to William Chappell's table, and I'm going to look at 21 American Caramels, and I'll be looking at other stuff and pull the trigger on something else. I'm certain of it. But if I can be disciplined, I'll walk away with just some smaller 56, 59 Hall of Famers. So.
I mean, I'm slowing down a little bit on some of the modern stuff so I can go back to the vintage, but I did get a couple of these came this week. Some of the refractors for Heritage for Albert Pujols.
Yeah.
Ben was busy picking up Pujols cards because they're so inexpensive, and he's like an all-time great. But yeah, I'm still working on the Diamond Stars set. I got 52 of the 96 I want. I'm not going to get the final high numbers on there because they're just repeat images and they're kind of expensive. And 53 Bowman. So like next weekend, I'll probably be looking for some of those things, maybe some of the Hall of Famers for the sets. Been having my eye on maybe a bigger Diamond Star. Haven't made a bigger Diamond Star purchase yet, so that might be what I walk away from the show with. I may only get a card or two, and then I'm coming back on Sunday to get the autographs of Ryan Sandberg and Andre Dawson on their rookie card.
which we need to talk about. So there were a couple guys, a couple other content creators who are texting me and might potentially be going. There is someone who was gonna come, and he's uncertain at this point in time. But if he doesn't come, I have to get his Sandberg autograph for him. So I'll stand in line with you, Mitchell. Because
Okay.
I'm not a big autograph guy, but
I'll be rushing because I have a 10K that morning, so I'll be rushing over there. So you might not want to stand too close to me because I won't have time in the shower, but I'll try and clean up as best I can. I figured a card show smelling bad kind of sometimes fits in.
It's perfect. So, but I'll be there. I'm most likely going all 3 days. I know on Friday, I think it does.
Dylan wants to know what card show. Would you like to talk about our big local card show?
So it used to be twice a year, and now they moved it to Indianapolis for one of the shows. So it's called the Sports Spectacular. Yep. It's called the Sports Spectacular, Dylan, and they hold it at the same place that they have the National at. So it's in Rosemont. I think there's approximately 400 tables that are going to be there, and 60 to 70 people signing autographs throughout a 3-day span. So it's our biggest show in the Chicagoland area, of course, minus the National. So it's one that we all go to. A lot of the dealers that you guys are all familiar with, like William Chappell and Stan's Vintage, all of those guys come to this show. I'm sure. Does Ash come to this show? Do you know, Mitchell, if Ash is at the show?
I'm not sure. Yeah,
I think Ash comes to the show, so it's a pretty big local show.
No, some of them do skip it when the National is going to be in Chicago. Sometimes they skip it and just plan to come in the summer.
Right, which could be for the next 3 years, right? So at this point in time, this show might be down in dealers based on that because we've got the National here for the next 3. So, but it's a pretty nice show. I'm going to hit the standard guys. William Chappell is a booth I love. He's out of Indianapolis or out of Indiana. And for those who have bought from him in the past, he's got fantastic stuff. He does have a couple. Last time I saw him at the National, I'm really into the Drake's cookies, the 50s, 1950 Drake's cookies, and he had a whole stack of them. And at the time, I'd spent my budget, so maybe I'll end up with one of those as opposed to something else. But he's got a stack of the Hires root beer with tab, so he's got a lot of good stuff. So I'll probably be checking him out, and quite a bit of modern too. But I say that in recent years, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, Mitchell, it seems that the vintage is starting to take that show over. So
Yeah, I think it's a nice balance, actually.
Yeah.
You know, I've mentioned this before. When I go to those shows, I just kind of like hone in on vintage, and I'm usually looking for very specific things, so I go through the show pretty quickly. That's just the way I kind of go about it. I know some people go in there without plans and look for deals. Then you could be spending a lot more time kind of looking through everything. But there's a great selection of modern cards too, as you kind of go through there. I just don't know enough about the modern card collections, you know, if I'm getting good deals or what are good parallels. Because I have such a very narrow range of what I buy as it relates to modern. Pretty much is just Jeter and Pujols, and
Sure.
I've already bought the other modern kind of sets that I wanted to be able to build. So
right.
but
So you guys are close to each other then, huh?
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
We've done a couple shows together. There's a show here every month called in a suburb called Schaumburg. It's a small show, but we've been to it together several times. RJ, if you're familiar with Steve, Vintage on Vintage, he's another local guy to this area, so the three of us will go.
Nice.
But there's a couple guys coming in for this show, and I mentioned them in a video. I know the Cincinnati Kid, Topher, was interested in possibly going. I know Chris from Missouri had mentioned it to me in a text. I don't think he's going to make it, but I think he had talked about possibly going.
come on, Chris, you can come.
I think the Detroit collector, Eric, is going to be coming, so it's not too far for him. Gosh, I had that list. I don't have it, but there's a couple guys that I've been texting back and forth. Alan, if you guys know Collecting Maddox, Alan, I believe, is local. So
Yeah. Are they coming all 3 days?
Yeah. Well, what's that?
Are they coming all 3 days?
No, some are spotty. Some are coming for Saturday, Sunday. Some are coming for Friday only. So it all depends.
Okay.
I've got a truckload of texts I have to go through, and I'm going to write down what days people are going to be there, and
Well,
if they're
I'll
not
see
coming.
whoever there on the days that I'm there, I guess.
You're there Friday, Sunday, right?
Yeah, I can't do
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah, so you'll see. You and I will hook up, and then I've got local friends here who collect that all want to meet up. So regardless of if you're a content creator or not, there's a couple people who have reached out to me on my channel who follow the channel and said, "Oh, maybe I'll see you there." I said, "Well, introduce yourself and hang out with us. You don't have to be a content creator. We don't care about that. Just come hang out with us."
We're not that intimidating. We're not that important.
No,
That's
we're a bunch
cool.
of old.
We just came on here and pressed the button.
Come hang out. I'll even buy you a beer for crying out loud. So
We're going to a flea market tomorrow. Do you guys watch Vintage Sports Flips?
I do. I met Keith at the National.
Yeah, so we're going to that, the one that he goes to all the time. We're taking the drive down tomorrow.
Okay. Have you met him?
After. No, I've never met him.
He's a great guy. He's a very cool guy. He actually had a booth at the National. So and had a lot of that stuff, a lot of that vintage stuff that he,
Yeah. Yes, I did see the video. Yeah, he sold this year, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yes, correct.
The dealer? Right.
Yeah. Very cool guy. Very nice.
Yeah, he gets some good stuff there, so I'm excited to go there. And then we're going to UPenn tomorrow to see a wrestling match after for my nephew.
Oh, very cool.
You're busy.
Yeah, it should be a good time.
RJ, you guys have been selling a lot lately. Did you want to kind of talk about that? Because every now and then, and I see you kind of selling a big card on your Instagram page. I'm like, dang, I thought that was part of the permanent collection. You must be something big.
Yeah, we've been trying to use hobby money. So instead of spending more money, we've been using hobby money to fund other things behind us. So, stuff that we are not so attached to anymore. I wouldn't call myself a dealer or anything like that. I'm just, if I can use the money and if I can get clear of what I paid for it, then I'm good.
Yep. That's perfect.
You're still working on the 48 Bowman autograph set, right?
Yes, that'll never.
Rizzuto recently, right?
We already took the trip. I took the trip 2 days ago to PSA, dropped it off. So that's going to get dual graded. But that set will never go. And the Yogis over there will never go. So whenever we go to shows, we always look for 48 Bowman autographed or Yogi Berra playing days autographed.
I admire that because I haven't gotten down to if I had to separate from my collection, what are the things that just can't leave? my hands. So I
That's
love it all, but
See,
I,
like
I
something
don't know. I've been
like
thinking about that more recently, especially I get closer to
something like
eventually
this.
starting a card room over here.
Like I could part with this. Like I know I could get this again somewhere someday, and I
correct.
feel like if this could help me get to something I feel like I can't get again, like a 48 Bowman autographed, or we're into comic books now. If an autographed comic book, if I can put myself into a pre-code horror autographed comic book, then if this is going to help me do that, then yes. Then if you would
Sure.
like it, here's how much it is.
What's the grade on that, by the way, RJ?
This is a 2.
All right, well, hang on to that. We might have to talk at some point in time.
Yeah.
I need it.
We-
So I need it.
We do pop-ups. We go on TikTok. We do pop-ups. I don't have scheduled shows or anything, and we have we have a pretty good following. So
yeah,
we'll probably get like 20 people in the room, and we'll just hang out. Somebody will see something, and like today, I went on for an hour this morning, and I sold 2 1967 pinups, graded SGC, the oversized graded. I sold the Mantle in a 1 and the Clemente in a 3.
Okay.
And I sold that, and that's going to help me get something else. It's something that I'm not really. It's in the closet. If it's in the closet and it's in a box and I can't see it, that's my new thing. If I can't see it and
That's
it's
a good
in
idea.
a box, I don't know. I feel like if I could use that towards something else, then that's what I'm going to do.
Sure, and it's the logical strategy. A lot of people do that. I always joke on my channel. I don't sell, and I don't get rid. I have everything that I've ever collected from the time I started collecting, and it's not. Now I'll give cards away, as gifts and things like that. But other than that, I think I sold one card, and it was at the National last year, and it was more of a modern card. Didn't mean too much to me. And as soon as I sold it, I took that money and bought my 56 Ted Williams. And then I thought to myself, well, I got to go back and get that card. And it's like a 2003 LeBron James, Michael Jordan card.
Do you trade at all, Jason?
I don't really trade either.
Once you get a card, you don't care about upgrading. You're good with that card.
I just need the card. So my 56 Mantle's in a 1.5, and I love it. I absolutely love it. It looks fantastic to me. The numbers, I'm not a grade snob. The numbers don't mean a whole heck of a lot to me. Grading doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot to me. I showed a lot of ungraded stuff today. And I might get some of it graded at some point in time. But to me, my hobby dollars, I'd rather buy more cards than grade cards. That's just how I am.
So I kind of like grading. I'm kind of starting to really enjoy it. But I like kind of doing more of the modern stuff.
Well, you killed it on that last submission. You killed it.
The chromes are just easier. I didn't really realize just how easy they were. I mean, I don't have a lot of them, and just submitted the ones I really liked and wanted to potentially have encapsulated, and like a third of the order came back a 10. That's kind of crazy. So I've done some other modern ones, and that's not the case, but they weren't chrome cards. But I kind of want to get like the old 2001 gold parallels that I have all graded up, because high grades of those are in high demand and low supply. Not that I'm looking to sell them, but like it would be really cool if like all the Hall of Famers are like 8s and higher and stuff. My Pujols isn't, but that's okay. But
you completed that too, did you not?
I completed that project, of like all the stars and Hall of Famers that I wanted. I don't have the whole set. That was going to be too much of a rabbit hole. But like when I got back one that graded a 9.5 at SGC, it was the most exciting thing I think I ever received. I never owned a card from that set in that high of a grade. And I think it was only like the 5th time they'd given out that score for any of those parallels from that set that year.
Sure.
And it was a Chipper Jones. So I'm like, oh, there you go. It's a Hall of Famer. So like that's perfect. And I don't even know how much it would sell for. Probably would, if I were to sell it, probably at least 150 or more. And it was a card I bought for $10, but it's like high grade are scarce and in high demand for the people that collect that set. So
that's the other thing that like you get that question for those who don't collect, and they see things hanging on your wall, or they go into your card room, and the first thing they say is, well, how much is all this worth? And my answer to that is always, I don't know, because once I buy it, I don't look it up again. It's in my collection. I couldn't tell you. What's my 56 Mantle worth? I have no idea. I can tell you what I paid for it, but I don't know what it's worth.
So I look them up sometimes, especially the ones that seem to be more fluid in the way the price has gone. Like even those, like going back to the 01 parallels, they've gone up a lot.
Right.
just in the years I've been on YouTube. I got the bonds, I think, for like $20, and I see that right now it's ungraded selling for like $60
Yeah.
now.
Well,
So
that's
like the big stars have like definitely gone up a lot. I think it has everything to do with the popularity of the Ishiro and the Pujols cards from that set.
yep.
So
And that's only going
people
to
who gravitate.
climb.
I can't afford those, but I kind of like the way they look. So let me get one of my other favorite player kind of thing.
Right. Right.
Mookie, that I believe it's in Columbus, New Jersey, is the flea market. Mookie.
Yeah, I think that's what
That's it.
the lonely baseball or
Oh, that's
basement
Keith.
baseball
That's Keith
card
too.
collector.
He's
thing,
an
so.
He picked up a great card at the National. He picked up the 59 Bazooka Mantle at the National.
Wow,
Keith.
that's a great card.
Yeah, it's a beautiful
I
card.
thought about if we did non-traditional cards, that would be a set. I think I'd probably say like
That's an awesome set.
well, it's not unappreciated. I think just like it's kind of unattainable. I think
That's
for
a
the
tough
cards from
one.
that set.
Yeah, 68 bazookas are tough as well. I mean, you don't see them a lot. The 68s and the 59s are real tough. I love the
Stu got one
68.
recently. Got Hank Aaron. Yeah,
68. You have the 68, Aaron?
Stu did. Stu
Oh,
got
okay.
one. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, he's got awesome. Scott's got awesome.
Still likes the golds. So
Did I tell you what I
so similar interest. Yeah.
did I tell you what happened with my Pee Wee Reese, the 53 Bowman?
It was like a 6-2, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it was
Wow.
an SGC
No.
authentic, and I cracked it out and sent it to PSA 6.
Well, that's funny. It doesn't usually go the other way around, right? It's usually
Right.
PSA like kind of dings it, and you take it to SGC, and it does better. Wow,
That's fantastic.
you made a lot more money by doing it that way.
Oh yeah. It sold in 2 days.
Sorry, Stu. Did I ruin your surprise? I think you showed it before you submitted it. I didn't tell the grade or anything. But, yeah.
There you go, Mitchell. Now,
Sorry, man.
now I can't wait.
I just really liked it. Sorry, I think I was
when Scott's
admiring
video
it.
comes out, the first thing I'm going to say is, "I already knew you had this." That's awesome.
But yeah, selling's been good and trading has been excellent. So I've been trading a lot lately. And that is a great way to get into something big. If I can take 5 or like I traded 14 comic books for 1 comic book, and I'm very, very happy with it.
Yep. And that runs similar, RJ, correct me if I'm wrong. Comic books are similar to baseball cards. I mean, you have your vintage era, you have your golden era, you have all of that. I was into it for a while.
Silver. Yep.
Yeah. I actually sold all of my comics and dumped it into baseball cards. So actually, yeah, my comics helped fund my 56 Mantle and a couple other cards at the National 2 years ago. So
oh wow.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Because
again, much like you said,
always
RJ,
baseball cards.
Yeah, much like you said, RJ, they were sitting in a closet for 25 years, and I'm like, all right, I don't do anything with these. It's not what I love, so I just flipped it into cards.
So what do you guys got? You got stuff coming up this weekend. We're going to flea market and wrestling. Any videos you guys are going to work on this weekend? I'm going to do the. I'm bad about keeping up with people's VRs. I apologize that I sometimes don't respond to them. I just get very busy, and that's the reason. It's not because I like one person more than the other. But I'm going to do one this weekend. I'm going to do John's challenge that he put out there, Mangini's challenge on there. So I already kind of know what I want to do, and probably won't be as entertaining as other people will do it. But I think I have some clever ideas to put in there at least. But I am a shot. Try and put that together this weekend at least.
I'm telling you, Mitchell, I'm worse than you. I think of all the VRs, I've probably done 2. I think I've done 2. I am horrible. I am horrible at VRs.
I did one this summer, which was kind of cool. So
I can't even think. Like my Mark Dodger's card had a giveaway, and Mark's a great guy, and I didn't do anything for him. And I got to do John's. I joked with John. I'm quote unquote on the cabinet. I'm in charge of the Bureau of Engraving and Printing baseball cards for his cabinet. So
that's funny.
so I have to do something for John, and I'm terrible with it. I don't. A lot of people pre-plan their videos. A lot of people like Aaron. I know he pre-films his. He's got a couple in the can. I don't do that. Like I'll just be sitting downstairs watching TV. Go, do a video, and I'll go upstairs and do a video. And that's just how I do it.
And the moment strikes.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll do things in advance, especially if I'm going to be on vacation. I'll put a few together, and I'll just kind of delay them to be released.
Yeah, I am fairly inconsistent. I'll go 9 days without one, and then I'll do 3 in the span of 6 days. So it's just I should probably pattern myself a little bit more if I actually cared about
That's okay. You're on
subscribers.
every
but I
live
don't.
stream this week, so
Yeah.
you're busy enough.
Yeah. I think this is my third. This is my second live stream, two in a row, and then I did the pre-tape of the Mount Rushmore show, which we did for the St. Louis Cardinals on Aaron's channel. So that was fun.
Oh, did it already air? Can you share who your Mount Rushmore is, or you have to
Oh
hold
yeah,
off?
absolutely. So my number one was Stan Musial. My
Agreed.
number two was Pujols. No, my number two was Hornsby, Rogers Hornsby.
Okay. Yeah, that's
My,
usually the debate. Who's two or
yeah,
three between
my
those
three
two?
was Pujols, and then my
Mhm.
four was Bob Gibson, and then I had a ton of honorable
Yeah.
mentions. So
Yeah.
ton.
Yeah. That'd be my four if I had to pick the Cardinals as well.
Yeah, and you have to have a card. So I don't have any plain days Hornsby, and obviously if you guys follow Aaron at
That's
all,
one
well,
I'm
you got
thinking
a
about
card.
for next weekend. Although he's in a
Yeah.
Browns uniform with the Diamond Star set,
So
but
what?
that's one I'm thinking about. So
Just having one is cool. But Aaron is a big pre-war guy and had 5 or 6 of them. So I had some of the modern stuff. I had like modern shine. So I think I must have put them over there. All of mine were like refractors of 2024 Rogers Hornsby. But you have to have a card to put them on the list. So I'm when we do this, I'm like, all right, I got to go out and get some Rogers Hornsby cards because I can't leave them off the list.
Well, that'll make the Yankees list pretty difficult for me, I guess, if I ever did that. So
Right.
I do have a Ruth card actually, but it's like from '67, so it's not from his era.
Doesn't matter. I've got a couple modern Ruths, but maybe after Strongsville I'll have a playing days. That's the hope. We'll see. That's the saving money.
I think Dylan was asking who you targeting, so I think we got it now. So
Jason live stream. Jason is live. Yeah, I took a break for a while, guys, and then I just rattled off like 5 or 6 in the last 2 weeks. So
do you just do pop-ins, or do you have a weekly?
I joke around every time I open up my YouTube page. I see Jason's face on there.
Right. Well, I've got a show that I do with Sammy Thunder every Thursday, cardboard and cold ones.
Oh yeah.
And then Aaron and I do a show. It's pre-recorded, Mount Rushmore. But if someone asks me to be on a live, I just jump on. Okay. And my kids are gone now. I'm an empty nester, so all I have to do is it's me and the wife, and I have more time to do it. So now's the time to enjoy yourself and what you like to do. So, although kids still cost you money. Just because they move out doesn't mean that you're still not forking over money. Craig, I haven't officially announced what I'm targeting at Strongsville yet, and I'm gonna keep that kind of quiet. I'll text it to you when we're done.
I've alluded to it, but I'll let you keep that secret since Craig did not hear it.
That's the most I've given away. So, and that's the funny thing. I was telling Mitchell before we jumped on. I really am in savings mode as much as I can be. But there are 2 auctions right now on 2 cards that I'm really, really want to grab, and they end tomorrow night. So I might have.
That happens sometimes. Yeah, that's what I did with the 52 usual Red Man, because I've been looking at some for months.
Great card. That's a fabulous card. So, I'll text you, Craig.
Hey guys, we didn't watch this, but what was the outcome of the boxing match this evening?
I don't think it's on yet.
Isn't that on yet? Okay.
I think
I won't be watching it.
Who do we got? Who do we like?
It's already
really bad time for me because I get up and run on Saturday morning. So
it's already a rigged job. So who do I want to win? I want Tyson to win, but this is definitely predetermined. I think if Tyson hits him too hard and the kid starts to drop, Tyson will pick him up. If you watch them fight Mayweather hit him, and it looked like he was going to fall, and Mayweather picked him back up. I'm like, this isn't a real sport. So.
It's the money already?
Yeah, I thought it started at 7 Central Time. So
not over yet, according to Dylan. So.
Tyson? Stooks likes Tyson. Okay.
Yeah, I want him to win. I really want him to win. So
I think he needs to win for them to do a rematch. If he loses, it's over.
Right.
He can't make any more money.
Right. But I mean, the fight with Tyson, who did he fight? Roy Jones Jr. It ended up being a draw. That was ridiculous. I mean, so boxing's on the outs. MMA took that over, so it's tough.
That's a big fight, I think, this weekend too.
Yeah. What's his name?
John Jones.
John Jones is fighting tomorrow night. So that'll be fun. I'll probably go hit up a BW3s. They always have them. I'll go hit one up and watch it there. So.
Yeah, it's all pre-fight still.
Okay, good. Well, then,
All right.
yeah, maybe we'll
This will be
catch
a
it.
midnight thing for
All
this.
right, maybe then that's a good transition, I guess, to kind of wrap it up so you guys can watch it if you want. So
Perfect.
yeah. All right, well,
Well,
thanks, Jason, for joining us tonight.
Yeah,
Probably
thank you,
you,
Jason.
Yes.
since you've
Thanks
been
for
RJ, nice to meet
for a
you.
year
hanging
that you
out.
hadn't been on. So, but
Yeah.
it's good to see you both again, RJ and Jake. So
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know when we'll
Awesome.
be back soon. Like if we don't have a regularly occurring show, but
Yeah.
our schedules are hard to coordinate, it seems. And October and September are just terrible months in my life anyway. I mean, it's fun stuff, but like I have no energy by the time I get home at the end of the day.
Well, you know what you got to do? You got to stop running 26.2
A lot of
miles a year. Yeah. You know,
Yeah, well, I'm only running 10 tomorrow. But
All right, gentlemen. Well, I appreciate you having me
All
on, Mitchell. RJ,
yeah,
it was
no
nice
problem.
meeting
Thanks
you.
for everybody joining in the
Guys,
chat.
thanks for
tonight.
hanging out.
It was a lot
Everybody
of
in the
fun.
chat.
Yeah. We had a bop and chat that worked out well. That was nice.
Nice.
All right, enjoy your weekends, everybody.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you.